Hi, I'm John Allen Mollenhauer, co-founder of RegenUs Center here in Florham Park. We're at the Core Therapies building at 17 Hanover Road, Suite 300 at the lower level. In this video, I want to share with you the 5 signs and symptoms that let you know you need recovery. Now, recovery is a subject that most of us learned as, say, recovery from an injury or recovery from drugs or alcohol. And most of us, even the athletes, but most of us non-athletes, I happen to be an athlete, but most people don't really use the term recovery on a regular basis, and they really don't know what it is. And here at RegenUs Center, we're all about proactive recovery. So in this video, I'm going to share these 5 signs and symptoms that let you know you need it. Now, first of all, recovery is really about getting your energy back. It's about recharging. It's about healing, and ultimately it's about regenerating. Regeneration, which is the reason why we're called RegenUs Center, is because regeneration is the big concept today. It's the other half of the story that most of us never really learned. It's what's at the root of why people are tired, or the antithesis of it is at the root of why people are tired all the time, why they're experiencing exhaustion, why fatigue has become chronic, and why pain, in particular chronic pain, like back pain, has become so prevalent. Because when you are overexerting, when you've got excess stress going on in your life, and not enough recovery, meaning recharging, healing, and ultimately regeneration, where tissue is able to come back to be fully restored, and your energy levels and your tissue are able to be healed, and your body becomes fully restored, naturally fatigue and pain are going to be the primary symptoms. Secondary symptoms will include depression, shortness of temper, right? An overall, slack in your attitude, because you just don't have the energy that you need to fully function. And this happens at the cellular level, all the way on to the musculoskeletal level, and of course your nervous system is driving the show. So if you're overstimulated and under-recuperated, and you're not getting recovery, and you're not doing so in a proactive way, it's very easy for excess stress, pain, and fatigue to show up in your life, and for it to be chronic. Now, here's a really important insight about pain, because the number one reason why people come into RegenUs Center is because they're experiencing pain. So let's take sleep, for example. Sleep is not really about sleep. Sleep is about all of the body processes that are happening during that ideally 8 to 10 hour block of your 24-hour day that are getting accomplished during that time. It's about recharging, it's about restoring, and it's about healing, and ultimately about regenerating your body. Your body is a self-healing, self-directing, self-repairing biological machine. And it needs time and space in order to complete a number of processes. So let's just talk about that one period during the day. It's the 1/3 of life, the other 2/3 depend on. Let's say you're cutting out an hour and a half out of your sleep every day, and you've been doing it for, let's just say, the last year. And you really need 8 hours, but you're only getting 6.5, which is the national average. That means an hour and a half of body processes that are involved in recharging and healing and ultimately regenerating is not getting completed. Now, what do you think happens when a healing process gets cut short every single day? Times 7, times 52 weeks. What's going to happen is ultimately you're going to start to feel symptoms like fibromyalgia, muscle soreness, spasms, joint pain, as I said earlier, depression. And it can progress to a point where you get back pain that becomes debilitating. I know I experienced that. Actually, it was one of the inspirations for why I co-founded along with my wife, who had just actually given birth to a child and was experiencing tiredness and fatigue. I was experiencing back pain. And that's actually one of the inspirations why we started this center. And what we've learned, we actually didn't even really fully know this when we first conceived of the idea, what we've learned is that when you're not getting enough recovery, it ultimately leads to pain. And this is a big reason why so many people travel from physician to physician, from therapist to therapist to therapist, only to never really solve their problem. And the reason is because they're not proactively recovering in their life. They're relying on sleep alone. Sleep, which should be 8 hours of total sleep, not just total time in bed, gets cut short. And they rely then on sleep alone and then go all out for 14 to 16 plus hours every single day. Tiredness becomes a constant. Fatigue becomes chronic. Then we overstimulate to cover it up. But lo and behold, pain shows up. And then you could spend literally years in therapy trying to solve that problem. Today, I don't have back pain, and that's because I engage in proactive recovery on a regular, everyday basis. And well, you could say, well, John, that's really easy because you own the center. Well, the only difference between us and you is proximity. We don't have as much of a drive to get here, but you'd be surprised when you're serving clients all day long. It can be just as challenging for us. So we understand that recovery can be challenging. But if you're within 3 to 5 or 10 miles of this center, you can be in and out and engage in proactive recovery. Heat, cold, light, which is the basis of a regeneration protocol. You can use a laser where you're getting red and near infrared light. Compression therapy, pulsed electromagnetic field, it's called PEMF. You can look these things up, or you can go to RegenUsCenter.com and you can get some easy descriptions on them. But we have a protocol here where you can be in and out in 20 to 30 minutes if you're doing multi-modalities, or less if you're only using one at that particular time. But once you start to build in proactive recovery into your lifestyle on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis, on top of your sleep, and we'll even help you improve your sleep. Because once all of this starts to improve, your symptoms will lessen. You'll reduce pain, you'll accelerate your recovery, and you'll begin to optimize the way you live. And ultimately, that's the major theme of all of our lives. We've got to be living in such a way where the way we live is optimized for energy, production, and management, and for recovery, for health, and for all-round function and performance. Because we know, if you're anything like us, you're up to big things in your life. You're with your family, your career, your business, and you do not want to be distracted and held back by low energy, stress, pain, and fatigue. So come on over and visit us at RegenUs Center. That's RegenUs Center.com. #RegenUs. And we look forward to talking with you. You can also reach us at 862-295-1620. Hope your year's off to a great start, and we'll talk to you soon.